of trust that you're noticing? Like, is that something that's been developing for you in life? Is that something that you felt kind of innately, or how would you kind of even categorize that?
I think it stems from my youth. I I had maybe some relationship breakdown, shall we say, sort of in my family, and a bit of there was animosity between parents who were breaking up. And I was at quite a sort of an impressionable age when those kinds of conversations were happening. And then there was actually a situation where I ended up going to relate because of my sort of relationship with one of my parents that maybe wasn't how I wanted it to be, or how anyone wanted it to be, and various each of us in the scenario had things that we sort of wanted to be different. And I was quite young; I was a young teenager at that point. But I can just remember the sort of way that I felt going into that, and sort of the lady as well. I can remember the lady called Vera, who was kind of my therapist or counselor, and she had like the kindest face and these sort of like rosy cheeks and this like frizzy fringe and hair that I can really sort of almost like, I can imagine her being in the room. And this is when I was 14 and I'm 47 now. And I suppose because there was a conflict where people didn't really fully understand what was happening in this situation, and therefore I was brought into the mix to kind of give the explanation on the basis that it was about me and it was about my care. And I can remember eyes sort of looking to me for like the truth of what was going on for me. And it sort of taught me very early on to be quite clear on sort of who I am or what I stand for or what matters to me, all these types of things. I feel like I got a really strong sense of self actually from being in that scenario and having to work through those feelings at sort of quite an impressionable age. And I've often thought about that since becoming a coach and working with people one-to-one. I'm often taken back to that first encounter that I had of that type of work with somebody and how that sort of made me feel. And it's been like a full circular journey to kind of come back to that by doing the work that I'm doing now.
Vera sounds absolutely delightful.
She was.